A Stanford University study published Thursday found that stress from the COVID-19 pandemic prematurely aged adolescents' brains, making them more like those of peers about 3 years older. By comparing MRI scans from children taken before the pandemic with scans from other kids taken during the pandemic, the study found that changes in brain structure that occur naturally with age sped up in adolescents as they experience the COVID-19 lockdowns. That could have lasting implications for those youths if the changes are found to be more than temporary. We know developmentally that brains change over time, that's not at all a surprise, said Stanford professor of psychology Ian Gotlib, lead author of the study published in the journal Biological. What was surprising here was how quickly these changes occurred in adolescence as a result of the pandemic. What those changes mean as far as the teen's brain function and mental health, and whether the changes will be temporary or lasting, is unclear, Gotlib said. But the study said research done before the pandemic already had found a link between exposure to early life adversity, violence, neglect, and family dysfunction, and not only poorer mental health but also accelerated brain aging. The new study adds to a stack of evidence that children suffered mentally, emotionally and academically from pandemic school closures and the resulting isolation and family stress. A Stanford-based independent research group in 2021 found evidence that younger children's ability to read aloud suffered, and newly released standardized test scores showed demonstrable decline in California and across the country. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in March reported that 37% of high school students reported poor mental health during the COVID-19 pandemic, and 44% persistently felt sad or hopeless during the past year. But the new Stanford study now documents physiological effects of pandemic stress on youth. Co-author Jonas Miller, who was a postdoctoral fellow in Gotlib's lab during the study and is now an assistant psychology professor at the University of Connecticut, said the findings suggest there could be serious consequences for an entire generation of adolescents later in life. Adolescence is a Now you have this global event that's happening, where everyone is experiencing some kind of adversity in the form of disruption to their daily routines, so it might be the case that the brains of kids who are 16 or 17 today are not comparable to those of their counterparts just a few years ago.